Revising manuscripts is a rigorous, structured process, which means revisions editors need to stick to the predefined schedule so they don't fall behind. Every week, writers are instructed on different writing and self-editing fundamentals, learning what it takes to put their manuscript through a revision. And they will rely on you as their editor to hold them accountable to finish everything on time. For more information and best practices, see the video on establishing and maintaining connection and routine. Time management for revisions editors also needs to be a rigorous, structured process. There needs to be an organization and routine, and each week a solid focus on the current week's assignments as defined in the revisions checklists. There are many documents on writing fundamentals, so if a writer needs something to do while waiting on your feedback, put them to work learning more to help them improve their writing. The RE dashboard is where most of your organization as a revisions editor will take place. This acts for the hub for all your writers, which includes updated word counts, links to content indexes, links to the main folders for each of your writers, assigned publishing coordinators, and checkboxes for you to update throughout the cohort. It's essential to keep your dashboard updated at all times, and many items need to be revisited now and again. Each week, check off tasks as they are completed. This includes the first few weeks of speed reading and notifying your wrangler of that progress, whether or not you have sent the introduction message, the key dates message, and when finishing the initial read-through of the entire manuscript. There are weekly checkboxes as well when sending weekly messages, and if writers are using PMs for communication. The notes section is also a good place to include weekly goals and/or add Zoom links to the meetings. For the main weeks of revisions, simply check off when those reviews are completed and also when the entire manuscript is ready. If you finish early and still have available time, feel free to work with the writer on additional revisions or help educate them on healthy self-editing practices. This all may sound daunting, but it only takes a few seconds to click the boxes each week and helps everyone involved, especially you. Keep your RE dashboard open whenever working in WIP and keep everything updated as you go along, which will make your job as revisions editor that much easier. Only when falling behind will this become daunting. Later in the cohort, your wrangler will notify you when there are new sections of the RE dashboard to fill out or update, such as with writing quality, author needs, or if you feel the manuscript still needs a publishing lift after revisions. This is all covered in further detail in the videos for author content index best practices and the mechanics of a review work for developmental editors. While some manuscripts require multiple revisions before ever becoming books, for most writers in this program, it will be their first and only experience working with an editor on such an intense level, other than working with developmental editors. So share your knowledge of what it takes to improve a manuscript and always be supportive. Stay constructive, and above all else, stick to the schedule. Don't worry if you feel the manuscript needs more work at the end of the cohort, but if it does, reach out to your wrangler well in advance. The writer will have options available before ever deciding to publish. Do the best you can to help. A quick recap. Spend the first few weeks of the cohort familiarizing yourself with your writer's manuscripts, then spend the remaining weeks focusing on the items covered in the revisions checklist. And in the final week, we'll no longer be working hands-on with your writers, so spend that time finishing any last-minute work. Don't let your writers fall behind or get stuck in revision loops, and don't let your writer get stuck, and don't get yourself stuck either, which tends to happen without an agenda. This is a fast-paced program designed to quickly educate writers and mend unfortunate writing habits, but your time with them is limited. Move your writers and yourself through the program as seamlessly as you can, week by week, as designed, from one area of focus to the other. If they keep returning to dialogue when you've already moved on to show versus tell, help them transition and let them know they have the tools in place to later return to those fundamentals. A good practice is to create a copy of the revisions checklist in your private folder, one for each of your writers, then check off those items as completed. This will keep you on track and prepare you and your writer one week to the next. Overtime is not available, so plan your weeks accordingly to get it all done. Revision is where the real work happens, so let's make it happen.